want to hunt for bugs or vulnerabilities in a target. So because Recon it's different because it depends on how you're doing it, but I called it scope-based Recon because we'll be focusing on one target in particular. And I also called it scope-based Recon because it depends with the type of target or the type of program you are enrolled in HackerOne or anywhere. So the first thing I have stated here is technology fingerprinting. So what do you mean by technology fingerprinting? This means once you start looking for the very basic thing before, because and I think I should have saved space for this. The most important part where people skip is the part where you interact with the application before you actually go ahead to start looking for vulnerabilities. So before, if you're maybe hunting for on Safaricom or maybe newsroom.safaricom.co.ke, first you have to interact with the application. This means you have to browse through it and you have to interact with the functionality. And actually, this method is actually very important because it's instrumental. It's very instrumental if you're going to be finding things like the business logic errors, because the moment you interact with the application, that's where you're going to learn how how an application workflow flows, and maybe from that you can find ways of abusing it. So how do we fingerprint technologies? So this is very easy, and it's something that you can just do with your browser. You don't need any sophisticated CLI tool or something like that. So there's this add-on. Can everyone see this one? Can everyone see? I need confirmation.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So there's this add-on for it's. I'm using Firefox. So it's called Wapalizer. So this one, it does all the work for you. Because I'm using obviously G Drive, it's telling me it's running this technology, OpenGSC, this programming in any languages. So this one will help you know understand a target. Maybe you'll start if it's a target, you'll see maybe it's running something like Spring Boot. You'll start thinking of how you can start looking for actuators for those Spring Boot actuators. Maybe if it's running an WordPress, the first thing you can do is maybe run a WP scan on the target, or maybe you look for if it's running a WordPress maybe 4.62, you look for vulnerabilities that affect WordPress for maybe 4.62. Like a very good example here, let's see safaricom.co.ke. I hope everyone can see this. So to the website, it shows you that it's running maybe Apache, it's running Apache, but it does not show you the version, but it's still telling you the technologies that have been employed on a target. Maybe let's say you want to go to Eliud Kipchoge, Eliud159.safaricom.e. It's going to tell you it's running WordPress. It is also the database is MySQL platform. This one, that one, you know how you call it. I don't know how you pronounce it, and stuff like that. So that's all about fingerprint.
Quick one.
Uh-huh.
So guys are complaining that your pop-up.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Pardon, Koimet? It's available. It's available, and it's an add-on you have to install. add-on store. Yeah, maybe if you're running, oh, it's not showing.
You are
Oh,
saying
It's
how?
that
not.
It's not visible.
Oh, it's not visible.
Not
Okay,
showing
yeah,
something.
it's not showing anything at all. Okay, okay, okay. But you
Fine.
guys, mnaona nikiclick kuna drop down.
Nope.
You're
Try
not seeing
sharing
anything.
your screen.
Okay, 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 okay. Let me share my whole screen. Let me share my whole screen. Okay. Let me share my whole screen. Bam. So now you can see. Everyone can see my screen now.
Yep, that works.
Now you can see what I'm saying.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I'm very sorry about that. Thank you for telling me.
Yep.
Yeah. So like I was saying, once you visit something like LED 159 with Safaricom, yeah, you see it's using security in Java, JavaScript libraries, platform as a service. So now you see, if you see it's running something like 12.51, you just have to go to your Google tab and search maybe WordPress 5.51 vulnerabilities. Vulnerability. Okay. Sorry. Okay, basically you've understood whatever it is I was trying to say. So let me move because if I start zeroing in down on each and every one of it, I'm going to take a lot of time. The other one is WhatWeb, and these are just some of, not all of them. So WhatWeb, it comes default installed by default on Kali Linux. I don't know about Parrot, but on Kali it's installed by default. So let's move on to the next thing, directory enumeration. So this is where you look for maybe these are directory that is not supposed, maybe something like .git, or maybe .svn, or that something that is not supposed to be publicly available. So you can use dir search, and if you want to, I have shared the link here for dir search. And if you are looking for a tool, the easiest way to search for the tool is maybe you come dir search, and then you type GitHub. It's going to take you directly, and you see the first repository. You see that it's the dir search repository. Same thing for the other thing. It's FF. This one is way faster because as the name says, it's faster, useful. The other one, the old school one, it's directory buster. And because I'm very sure almost everyone is familiar with this, I would not want to add so much into it unless anyone has a question about it. No question?
I guess people be asking what the difference between the tools.
Okay. Now let's move to the other thing. It's port scanning. So port scanning, the most common one is Nmap. And like I said, this presentation is beginner friendly. So Nmap, this is the most common tool you'll find out there for port scanning, and it comes even with the Nmap scripting engine that you can use for looking for for vulnerabilities. The other one is Nabu. It's this repository called Project Discovery. It's the one that has made nuclei, HTTPX, a lot of good stuff. So you can head over there and look for it. So Nabu, it's like, okay, it's not, I would not compare it to Nmap, but Nabu, it's I would say it's user friendly. And you know the best thing about this repository, we can just visit it. The best thing about it is that once you go there, once you head there, everything, how you're going to use it, it's spelled out for you. To tell you how you're going to use it, stuff like that. So you don't need anyone to hold your hand and tell you you're supposed to. You can see from the installation to the running it, if you're using Docker containers, Windows, anything. So the next thing I'm going to cover is I'm going this fast because I want us to do a live recon of a target, and I'm going to use all these steps I'm showing you here. The other thing is parameter fuzzing. So here there is param spider. This one it does almost all the work for you because it takes it gives you where you are going to fuzz for, like if you want to fuzz for XSS, SQLi, things like that. And the other thing is GF. GF. So this one it's a tool made by Tom Nom Nom. It's used for massive bonnets because GF, what it does, it uses what do they call fingerprints. It uses fingerprints, so it has like the fingerprints for an SQLi. So it knows where you're supposed to look for an SQLi. It knows where you're supposed to look for an XSS. It knows where you're supposed to look for maybe an SSRF or something like that. So the other thing is GitHub and Google Docking. And here I want to share two very tools that as a beginner, they're going to make work so much easier for you. The first one is this one. It's Docs by Faisal Ahmed. So it's so help. So I'm going to do a very quick demonstration here. So let's say we are doing a Recon for Safaricom, and we want to use Google Docs. So we're going to type here safaricom.co.ke, and then you come here. Like if you want to see if there are any directory listing vulnerabilities, so it indexes that for you. So you come here, and if you want to go ahead, maybe you can decide to open that and see what it takes you. Something like that. It gives us a 444. If you want to look for WordPress, it gives you that. Maybe let's say open redirects, maybe htaccess files, something like that. The other tool I want to share is the GitHub one. This one is also GitHub Doc Helper. So so what you do is so this one actually makes the work easier for you. You come here, maybe it's something like an organization like PayPal. Sorry, and then you say get keyword links, and then let's say I want to find if there are any access tokens belonging to PayPal that have been leaked. I'll just click there and it takes me, okay, so it's telling me to log in. Okay, that's too much work. Okay, let's verify this. Okay, if you're watching this, 187. Okay. So you see, it has taken me straight to the paper to the pages that might give me an access token belonging to PayPal. So you come to the recently indexed, and you see like this one was indexed 5 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, something like that. Let's say you also want to look for something like maybe, let's see, something interesting. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Let's see. So it tells you there's none. So you move on to the next thing. So let's say you want to look for secret. So you come to here and then recently indexed. And then it shows you, it does all the work for you. Instead of the manual searching, you come here and start typing PayPal, Cashier, stuff like that. It does all the work for you. So I would highly I would highly recommend it to you. Uh-huh. So the next thing is Wayback History, and GitHub also provides two tools that you can use for this. There's this GAU and there's this Wayback URLs. So GAU means get all URLs, so it fetches them from archive.org. Also, there's something I had promised I would share with you. So, there's this one-liner. Wait, this one makes it so much easier. So you just come here and you paste it on your search bar. And let's say you are looking for maybe Tesla.com. And once you hit that button, it's going to bring you all the URLs belonging to Wayback URLs belonging to Tesla.com. So from there, you can decide to take them and, Wayback History, it has a lot of things. It can lead you to linked API keys. It can lead you to idols, insecure direct object references, open redirects, a lot of things, SSRF. So that one, I will later share it with you. So the other thing, so those tools, I will share the links with you people. The other thing is template-based scanning. So this one, there are two tools. One is, I don't know the pronunciation for this one. I don't know if it's GLS or something like that. So it uses templates, and it's very effective for automation. And I'm going to speak about that automation because I heavily rely on automation. And also nuclear, this one, I think that's the pronunciation of something else by Project Discovery. So once you visit those links, it gives you the way it shows you how you're going to install it or something. Or you're going to, from the installation to the how you're going to run it. Ideally in the group, if you want to learn how to hack, you just have to learn how to Google, because everything is it's online. So you just have to learn how to find it. So with that, I come to the end of my first part of the presentation. If there is any question, I would like to hear you before I move. The second part will be very fast. So any question?
Okay,
I'm
the floor
still
is open to anyone who wants to say
I'm
something.
seeing
So,
someone telling me to paste the one-liner.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, what about Nicto? Where does it fall into?
Okay, Nectar, it's for Recon. It's for Recon because it's going to tell you what the website is running, if maybe it has WordPress. So I would place Nectar and WordPress in the same category. I would call it what would I call it? Kwa hiyo tunaweza ita Nectar nini? Unaweza iplace wapi? Okay, Coimate is not answering. So the other thing, and I see someone has already stated that Nikto is very loud. It's anyone will know this. Anyone who is back, who is on the blue team, is going to know that someone is running Nikto on our network or on our website. Thank you very much. It's a web vulnerability scanner, though it's not template based. It's not template based. So Nectar, I would it plus let's say Nectar was effective with the older web technologies, but right now I see it's very slow and it doesn't give you any some. Can you please mute your mic? It doesn't give you very credible results that you can actually use. So I would actually recommend you to use maybe something like nuclear or something like that. I hope I've answered your question. So do we have any other questions?
Just to add, on Nicto is quite effective on older versions of WordPress. In case you come across, if you use like Wapalizer or something else, you find that those versions 5 point something of WordPress, you can actually use Nicto, although it's quite slow. So actually, the results might be promising.
Okay, thank you very much, Kwemet. So I'm seeing Nelly is asking, so how do you that your process? How do your thought process flow through this whole record? So you know, my when I am approaching a target, so maybe the first thing I want. Okay, Joe, thank you. The first thing is I want to within when after I have interacted with the application and stuff like that, or maybe I want to make sure that all the low-hanging fruits, I'm able to bag them. Plus, you need to know that the easier to find it, the easier to duplicate it. That finding a bug is so much easy, then know that you're most likely going to get an informative. So my thought process is mostly I have to maybe I have to score through the application, and this you can do with the template-based scanning, and it's going to do the maybe the low-hanging fruits, something like that. But don't go ahead to report something like missing CSP header or something like that. Or go ahead to report something like missing HST. Those are going to, I see some of the external programs paying for that, but most of the times it's going to be flagged as informative. So that process is you move from it's I would say bottom up, and the ones at the bottom you can find them based scanning. But most of the people stop at that. Most of the people will fuzz the directories. Most of the people will look for leaked maybe files. Most of the people will scan for ports. And after that, they don't know what's next. They don't know. After maybe I'm done with Recon, I will take Recon, I see it as a part of exploitation, because once you find something like I would say port I don't know, a Prometheus. I think it runs on ports. I don't know if it's 9090 or 9100. Openly leaking to the public. That's a bug actually, and it's a P3. So I first have to make sure that the low-hanging fruits, I'm done with them, and then if I see it's something that is common and it's something that is easier to find, most of the time I don't go for it because you. So I like I was saying, Recon it's part of exploitation. You have to it's very necessary because you can't jump straight into and fuzz and giving payloads to the server. No, they're just going to block you or something like that. So I hope I've answered that question before I move on to the next thing that we're going to do. 10:45, like Coinmate said, I want to be done by 10:45.
Mimi niko na swali.
Yeah, go ahead.
How much success have you had using nuclei?
I would say I would give it a 5%. Okay, let me say when nuclei came out, maybe the chances there were 20% because not a lot of people knew about it. But right now, the success rate is below 5% because everyone is constantly fuzzing website. They are fuzzing for everything and reporting everything. So even if you find something you're sure it's going to be a dupe. So nuclei, I have not had much success with it, though I use automation. I have a dedicated private server that fuzzes a particular scope, and I have connected that to a record bot that gives me notification on my Slack app. So every time there's something that has come up, I have automated it in a way that has to give me, it only fuzzes the fresh targets. It does not go back to the previous targets. If maybe Safaricom had 49 subdomains yesterday, today we at that and fuzz that one. So the success rate is not high, though it's somehow at some point it helps you very highly because you find it's easy to find an remote code execution or maybe something that should not be linked. So it depends on how you use it. If you use it for automation and you use a dedicated, it's going to give you results. But if it's manual, the results will not be. I hope I've answered that. So any other question? Koimet, Michael.
Kabla ufunge, kwa hiyo automation script yako, what tools have been incorporated? Kina Amas.
Okay, I'm not a fan of Amas because it requires a lot of API keys. And you see, if you want something like for chaos, you have to, that API key for chaos, you have to apply for it because they don't give it randomly, that API key. They have to, they select. Like for that chaos stuff, I had to wait for 2 weeks before they gave me that API key. So I use Subfinder. Of course, I use Notify to give me the notifications on Slack, to use a Slack webhook. The other thing I use is a new to make sure that using any other older subdomains. I'm only fuzzing a new aspect that has been added. Yeah, I use those 5 tools. Yeah, and then and dedicated to or maybe Slack to pop up something.
So unakuwa umeweka the only things that have subdomain in the scope, zile wildcard.
One that have, I would not waste my time using the ones that don't have a wildcard. I only use the ones that have wildcard subdomains.
Thanks.
Okay, so question?
Unaweza kuna watu wanauliza maswali kwa chat.
Okay, sioni swali. Okay, let me look. Okay, Nicktoon, yeah. David Kangara, how have you managed? Yes, I'm working on a specific program or maybe something that I know I'm going to spend my time on. Trouble myself creating a word list. Okay, the other thing I've done for fuzzing this being this anyone kuna mtu amesikia pretty recon? Amesikia hiyo pretty recon? It's a paid service. I use that. I use pretty recon. It's you pay $15 per month. That's around 1,700. Which is $8 ni 109. It's $15. So it's because you guys can see my screen. Let me just show you how it works. Pretty. So it's a very good. It's very good. Recon because it helps you keeps you ahead of others, and first day of using it, I got an LFI. The first day I used it, I got an LFI. So come here. I'm actually doing a free advertisement for them. You should go and check it out. So you see it queues the domain endpoints. So this is for CSS files. Is file detection, CV scanner. So this I think they use Nuclei and or something like that. There's common vulnerability, files disclosure, basic. There's doing monitoring and the place and monitor all the times. And once there's change, because I see like I've exhausted my time answering the questions, I'm not actually going to to go into active recon, but maybe we can save that for some other time. And I see a question here for beginner, which okay, I would recommend this one, Google VPS. Okay, and there's something else I wanted to share. I almost forgot this thing called swiftness. You keep track of whatever it is that you're doing. No. Okay, if you want to say like it's like a checklist. If you've done this one, you come and tick here, you tick here, tick here. I'm going to share the link for this one, and you can store your notes here. The other option for it is something called Notion. You can download Notion. If you're using Linux, there's Lotion. Yeah. So for a beginner, the best VPS I would say it's this one. I don't know the last time I used it. No. This one. So it's Google gives you a free VPS, 50 hours per month and stuff like that. So it's free. It tells you to jump on it. It's not that effective because maybe they can decide to shut it down or something like that. So for a beginner with a VPS, just get used to the manual, to help you focus on other things. I'm going to automate everything and sit there. No, it's just some icing. I hope with that, I want to come to the end of my presentation. And any question? Okay, so Michael, do you have a question?
Only full-time bug hunter.
Nani mimi? Okay, I'm a full-time student. I'm a full-time student right now. Kwanza sahi niko attachment. I'm doing my industrial attachment to Nairobi. And the other thing, I'll not call myself I'm a full-time bug hunter. I'd say I'm a full-time security researcher because sio kila wakati. Sometimes I feel nasikia burnout and I leave it like for a week. But that week, labda I'll be doing like something I'll be maybe researching on auditing smart contracts. Something, but it's something, auditing smart contracts. It pays racks. It has very few people working in that area. And I'd actually tell anyone who is interested in Bitcoin or something like that, you can start. Okay. So I'm a full-time student. So I'm seeing people tell me to do a live recon kidogo. So the first thing, so give me a target. Give me a target. I'll make it very short, 5 minutes. Okay, kuna mtu anauliza nilianza hunting lini. Okay, so initially I started hunting on 2019. But I submitted, I think, my first 2 bags in Safaricom. The first one ikapigwa NA. The second one niliambiwa needs more information. So nikaachia hapo. So me, I continued. I have been a pen tester for the longest time. Nilikuwa naishi kuona watu kwa webcam, shule, nini, stuff kaizo. So just for fun. It's called APT for fun and no profit. I was doing that. So I joined back to bug hunting. I started playing CTFs and then I joined bug bounty. I started active bug bounty maybe in May last year. That's when I started. I started being active. So you're saying uber.com. So let's go. Uber.com. My keyboard is broken, so I might be slow a bit. Uber.com. KE. So what are we looking for here? Okay, the first, okay, you can see this. Okay, the first thing I look for, and it's something that I was taught by Sirius. This one time we were doing a collab. It was not that successful, but I always go here to about us. And if it gives me a map, the first thing I look for it's an API key. It's maybe I first look if there's a map, and if I see a map, then I look for Google API key, because that's I think it's a P3. It's an easy P3. That's $300. That easy. So yeah, or maybe go to contacts or something like that. So maybe, so what do we check here? Maybe you can check what is running. We first have to interact with it. I don't think I've ever hunted on Uber. So you have to look. You just look around and you see what it is about. You learn about the. If you go to login, you see the driver login, the login. Also, you have to look at the application version of it, so that you can see the workflow is the same. Maybe the way things are flowing, it's the same thing. The other thing is, let's go. So the very first basic thing, like I've said, it's you just have to go through the app. Like if I want to hunt on Uber, let's say I'll take one day. Just maybe browsing through it. I open my Burp suit and maybe I start looking at the what are they called? The history, the requests and the responses as they go. And you see, by looking at that, it will help you know how maybe if you make a particular request, how it is handled, and maybe how it's also handled at the back end. So it will help you in your process. And you know, if you notice something that might be useful or that you might use going forward, you know, you come back to your stuff that you used to record, and you write something down there, and you continue like that, like that, like that. So you don't jump straight like I go and start passing for their search. No, these people who kuna watu kuja tu wanakuja tu kwa website anaweka tu .env na anapata credentials. So you just have to you're interacting with it. So you just have to, if you see it's WordPress, you try something like WP admin ajax.php, admin ajax.php. You know, there this possibility of an RCE or something like that. So it depends on what you know and what you're looking for. So you don't have to jump straight into it. You have to interact with the application and stuff like that. I would only ask if there's maybe something specific that anyone wanted to see me doing. If there's anything specific. Okay, how many bugs have you submitted that have gone through? Okay, personally, I've submitted over 250 reports, over 50 NAs, I think over 100 duplicates. No, not but I think I don't have a lot of even on HackerOne. I don't have a lot of HackerOne. I think I have over 40 duplicates. I have over 40 duplicates, and I just have submitted a valid high before my other critical that got duplicated. I have a valid high, and yeah, I before being active on, I started being active on HackerOne and Background. I used to hunt on external programs, and you know those they accept. You never know the standards of a program, so I don't know the actual number of reports I've sent, but it's na sasa kuna zenye sijai replyiwa hadi na vitu kaki na Paxful. So kuna zenye they just go like that, you report it, they fix it, they never tell you, they never give you the feedback. Yeah. Assuming you got things like, let's say, how would you okay, Darkspider mi sidhani kuna mtu amerecord this session actually, but mtu amesikia kile alikuwa nataka kusikia amesikia. So recommended VPS, I would recommend DigitalOcean. That's the one I use. DigitalOcean. I would recommend that. It's $5. Recommend that, and I think right now they have an offer where if you buy that one for $5, they're giving you $100 in credit. So that's like 3 more months or something like that. You can even, if you $5 is just going to give you a VPS for one CPU, but when they give you that credit, you can even get a VPS for maybe 3 CPUs or 4 CPUs or something like that. So I think I'm done. Sioni kuna how many bugs. Sioni kama kuna mtu sija nini. I share a sample report. Hey, mostly hizi vitu zinakuanga kwa private programs and zenye naweza sema ni naweza share, naweza feel proud to share. You know, you have to. No, I don't have any certification. I just know how to Google. I don't have any certification. I'll actually tell you this thing, and it's something that my sensei used to tell me. Black belt si yenye mtu anavanga kwa waist. Black belt ni yenye iko hapa juu kwa akili. So not the certifications you have, it's what you can do. I think I'm done. I met. Koimet ameenda wapi? Okay, kuna feedback. Oh, thank you. Naona David Wambia. Thank you very much. Fixing things up. Okay, what's it again? Koimet. Okay, the other thing, kama kuna mtu hajashika kitu, what you can, kuna group tuko nayo. Your group. So you can always reach out to me.
Yeah, so actually hata nimeshare my number there. I think for those when you're not attacking your WhatsApp group actually, but we should actually minimize on the topics.
So the other thing mesikia vile Koimet amesema kama ni kwa group, you know, there are things that will get you removed. We make sure you stick to the topics and stuff like that. I'll share the slides. I'll share the slides. You're my employer out there, unaweza niandika. Can do